Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts. I am a presidential candidate for the United States of America for 2020, the 2020 election, and I'm very concerned about a couple of things. On Friday, the 19th of July, another judge justified the murder of two unarmed black people in the city of East Cleveland who were chased through Cleveland, Ohio, into the jurisdiction of East Cleveland, gunned down and slaughtered on a schoolyard, sending a message to Americans and beyond that it is justifiable to murder people of color. The courts in the United States of America justify the murders of people who are considered to be non-white, and allow white people in this, or Seleucids in this country, to murder us, and justify it and say that the law is befitting to do so. The officer, Gardner, had convenient amnesia when asked the questions regarding the law, citations of the numerical numbers stated and cited in the court. At one point he stated that the one officer, the officer who was on the stand, Ms. Coleman, I believe, didn't break the law. But then when the other law was cited, he couldn't remember because the time was too far back, but we were talking about the same time frame. And I'm very disappointed in Judge Dawson, a man of color, and I'm tired of these men of color supporting white women over we women of color as if they are more important and better than us. It's insulting and it's offensive, as if white women are the only one that matters and that they're superior to us. I'm not trying to be blonde, but if I wanted to, I could, because I can go buy it in a box. As you know, I do wear my hair straight when I get ready to, and it has been long, with the exception of it being cut off by people with issues. Or I can wear it short if I like. However I decide to do it, that should be my choice, but I don't have to be white to be right. I'm very disappointed in the mere fact that Mayor Frank Jackson got sued for reverse discrimination for prosecuting a white police officer who emptied multiple rounds of bullets into these lives of Timothy Russell and Melissa Williams, who were gunned down from a homeless shelter into what they call the lower part of the West Side, into the judicial process of downtown Cleveland, into a wealthy portion of Cleveland called Bracknell, Ohio, and then into East Cleveland, standing on the roof of a car and emptying his gun, multiple rounds, into these unarmed black people. And his law director, Barbara Langhenry, allows it to happen, who blocks people from filing in the courts when she gets ready to. But more than that, oh, and she is white, of course. More than that, I am just really outdone by the mere fact that the people of color who are in positions of leadership in this country are not outraged by this and are not raising a big stink about it. How do I know? Because this is what is done on a regular basis. But at election time, here come the cameras, here come the lights to shut folks down for talking about this. And the message also conveyed through this at Heritage Middle School, where these people were gunned down on a schoolyard, is saying, not only am I going to get rid of you, but I'm getting rid of your seed and your seed, your heritage. And Judge Dawson, I'm very disappointed in you, because you know better. I watched the other judge lead the witnesses for the defense in that other trial with Michael Brelow, and not allowing the prosecutor to prosecute Michael Brelow as well as the rest of these officers in relation to the murder of these two unarmed black people who had no gun, they weren't on drugs, and the chase was called off multiple times. So tell me how legislation addresses this, because it doesn't. It obviously hasn't, because these people are still walking around in the streets doing what they feel like doing, just like the murder, the heinous murder of Trayvon Martin, just like the slaughter of Tamir Rice. But no, we don't hear about his sister who was abused also during the time of his murder. We don't hear about that little girl, because female lives still don't matter around here. The murder, the horrendous murder of Tanisha Anderson, because a woman decided to speak her voice and express herself on how she felt about a matter, but she got tased to death and murdered right in front of her family by the police. I'm concerned about we women of color still being raped and murdered, with our babies robbed and stolen from us, sold into a system of things that is not fair, and all of our rights still being violated. How do I know? Because it happened to me. I went to the system for assistance and lost my babies. And I'm wondering how all of this glamour and glitter is coming up now. And all these women supposedly abused that are coming up with all these abuse cases, but not one of you one time reached out to me. Matter of fact, you went around telling folks I'm crazy. Playtime is over. Another message, a false message that's being passed around. It's the overall idea that it's okay for white people to gun down and people of color anywhere. I'm not smiling. I'm not laughing, because it's not funny. And then the religious community being involved in helping with this process, promoting this racism and this hate, these heinous hate crimes. But you say the law justifies it. The law justifies murdering we people of color. And the other people of color have no problem with this. I have a problem. I have a challenge with all of this. Because we people of color don't pull together to address this. I have a challenge. And I call every one of you out on this. Because I'd like to know how my civil protection order never got enforced, and my babies were robbed and stolen from a school, and I never got them back. Never had legal representation to help me to get them back, to challenge it, and have been denied my right to represent myself in the courts of law after I conceived my babies through being raped and abused. And all these other people who do what they want to do to me are walking around up and down the streets, and not one attorney has stepped up to the plate on my behalf. So I take on this system. I take on the American system of government, because y'all sitting on my stuff and sitting on my matters. And as I run for the presidential seat for the United States of America, another key component was there was all white media in that courtroom. All white people on the defense side, and the jury on the the jury, that was a sight for sore eyes. And I found it a bit amazing that after an effort to try to dismiss the case, the next day one of the jurors didn't show up. And then Judge Dawson, you find this woman not guilty because she's blonde, or were you bought? What is the real deal around here? And Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, I don't scare, sweetheart. I haven't forgotten what you've done to me. And I don't care if people think I'm crazy, and I know what you did to me. And I'm not suffering from amnesia or delusions. And I didn't forget that my ballots disappeared in the 2004 and the 2008 elections, for which I did vote in the United States of America. I am a presidential candidate for the United States of America, and I am addressing real issues. Because instead of providing rifles, we need to be providing roofs for people's homes. Instead of building McDonald's, Wendy's, and schools that look like army barracks, we need to be providing homes and making provisions for families. I'm not going to smile because I'm not very happy right now at these processes, because they're not really due processes. I'm not very happy at the mere fact that a white police chief from Fairview Park gets in Cuyahoga County Council and says that he's protecting his people. And I ask him, who are his people? After the American Civil Liberties Union states that a law is being implemented based upon the laws of 1800, when women of all colors and people of all colors that are non-white did not have rights, and slaves were being sold on public square under the pro-slavery law, including it being called the Corwin Amendment, the pro-slavery amendment, inside of the 13th Amendment, and called also the Ghost Amendment, not the Holy Ghost, of course, which states that slavery is never to be abolished in the United States of America. And this law just passed in Cuyahoga County in 2017. This surely is not 1800. We have some real issues to address. We have some real matters that we're facing here. I wonder, can a group of people who are non-white go into an all-white community and gun down two of their unarmed white people? Will it be legal? Is the law written to protect the people of color for them to do that? I don't like what you all are doing and what you're representing and what you're standing for around here. And it's worse in other places, because women have their vaginas sewn up. They're murdered for being born as females. And I'm a naturally born female. I'm discriminated against because I'm a naturally born female with color in my skin that's not all white or jet black, because I decided to wear my hair curly one day and straight another. If I wanted to buy a wig, is it affordable for me? Because not only did you rob me of my baby and steal my children, you stole my homes, and you destroyed my name in this country. And you have my things sitting in the court of law, sitting on them, saying that the law does not protect me. I am a presidential candidate for the United States of America for the 2020 election, and I'm here today to address real issues. I'm not here to pity-pat and play games and violate and be violated. The Civil Rights Commission has not done right by me, as well as others. But you know what? I'm still here. For those of you who would like to help me with my presidential election, my phone numbers are 1216-548-0820. And my office or headquarters number is 1216-303-9804. I'm also being violated because I am not gay. I am a heterosexual woman. And I do believe in Jesus Christ being God. And I'm being violated because of this. Discriminated against because of this. And as you see, I have white family members. And I have black family members. And I have Native American family members. And Euro-American family members. I have family members of different nationalities, races, creeds, and colors. So I'm not prejudiced. And I don't like what you all are doing that are doing these bad things. Those of you who would like to join with me and help me, you are welcome to do so appropriately. Don't call me wasting my time, and don't lie to me and try to find out what I'm doing to try to help somebody else. I'm working on this campaign myself. My campaign number is available via the website of the Federal Elections Commission and Cuyahoga County Council, as well as the Board of Election is fully aware. Camelia Terry, if in fact you're still alive, I did not give up on you. The Department of Children and Family Services had your baby at one time, and they mess up children. And then they give them back to the mother. I know personally and professionally. As a probation officer for the Cleveland Municipal Court, where I was forced to retire, I was denied the right to help people, to make sure that their needs were met. And I'm giving my grandchildren without resources to provide for them. And if anyone finds out that I use my own, then they take them from me so that I can't provide for them, to try to give me a criminal history, to try to get me for neglect and endangerment, and to make sure that I cannot provide for my own grandchildren, just like they did with my children, to try to get me with some nonsense. When I went to the system for help and had a protection order in place that was not enforced by the Cleveland Police Department, the United States Department of Justice, the Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, by whatever name it goes by in your state or jurisdiction, and they messed up our lives. So I'm here to clean up a mess that some people have made. The Department of Health and Human Services covers every area. I'm not smiling because I'm not very happy right now. But I do have joy, and I do have a smile inside of me because I am still here. And those of you with another agenda, you may as well tuck it away. Get rid of it, because I'm still here. And I do plan to, with the aid of my assistants, obtain the seat of the presidential seat of the United States of America for the 2020 election. Those of you who would like to financially sponsor me, you may also do so. I do have Cash App as well as other means, and you can supply funds to First National Bank under Pinckney Butts USA. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts, presidential candidate for the United States of America for the 2020 election. Thank you very much for your time. And as Black on Black Crime Incorporated says, no justice, no peace. The Word of God clearly states that justice and judgment far supersede sacrifice. And the lives that I mentioned that have been sacrificed, the families deserve justice and judgment on their behalf, including mine. I still love my children and my grandchildren, and I always will, no matter what you have done to us. My children came through my birth canal. Whether the males who I conceived them through their seed did right by me or not, I still love my children, and no one had a right to take them from me. If you decide that you want to abort yours or murder your children because they were conceived through rape, that's your choice. But I chose to keep mine, and none of you had a right to take them from me or to hurt my children and me. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts, presidential candidate for the United States of America for 2020.